Microphone check. Lights, cameras.
This is swanky. This is lifestyle. This is culture. Welcome to the social center of everything culture. Culture Daily.
On X and Instagram. Groove with us on Facebook at 3Music. Catch the visual party on YouTube at 3Music TV. And let's keep the web poppin' at www.3music.tv. We're not just music, we are the lifestyle of music.
Good job. Rock on top. Oh, that's free, Dad. That's free. He's out of bed. Free!
Well, anyway, as interesting as it gets, the UK didn't just bring me to watch Medical's concerts, but there are people of high reputation that still are in this country that need to be spoken about or spoken of. And one of such persons is the big man that's sitting next to me here, Joshua Buatsi. Welcome.
Man. Thank you.
It's an honor to have us in your home.
Thank you.
I'm excited.
No, you're welcome, man. Thank you.
So first off, I was hoping that when I have a handshake from a boxer, it might be a bit tighter, but
it doesn't need to.
It doesn't need to.
I always say to people, is what we do inside the ring.
Outside
the ring, we're normal people.
I can
it's
imagine.
Inside the ring that matters. Yeah.
When you get inside the ring, minutes or seconds before your first punch goes, what goes through your mind?
Get the person before they get you.
Oh.
Yeah. There's 12 rounds, but any moment, it could be your turn. So you say, make sure I get this guy before he gets me.
So as in the first hit, the first punch.
It wouldn't always be the first hit or the first punch, but no matter the outcome, just make sure you get them before they get you.
So when you say get them, psychologically get them, emotionally get them, or physically get them?
In all aspects, but most importantly, you win the psychological game before you enter the ring. Because in training camp, it's all physical and a bit of mental, but when it's the night of the fight, everything is mental. You're thinking about any mental gains, how to make sure you're mentally stable. And how I do that is very evident. I always show people how I do it by reading the Word of God. By having my brother in my changing room. And all he has to do is stand there and pray. The minute he wants to talk to my friends, I have to interrupt and say, bro, remember why you're here, to pray. So that calms me down and everything.
Okay, they say God doesn't play football because he doesn't take sides. Every side gotta win. How about boxing? How about boxing as well? Prayer to win or prayer to strengthen you? What do you pray about when you pray before a fight?
Prayer to win, the safety for myself and my opponent. Prayer for a good fight. Prayer to come out on top. Yeah, but all the time prayer to come out on top.
Does it get nervous before a fight?
Yeah, definitely it does. When there's people, but when you know you've done all the training, you can still get nervous. But again, when it comes to reading things that are in the Bible, that's what I live off. In my changing room, you don't need to tell me what I did in camp. Don't tell me I'll win because you think so. Tell me what God said in the Bible, because in that hour, I believe everything that's written. In our day-to-day life, we question, we do this, we do this, we do that. But in that hour, I don't doubt it. Yeah. So
let me hold on to the boxing for a bit, and let's go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Growing up, what was growing up like for you? Did you grow up in an environment that triggered you to want to get into boxing, or did you ever think this was going to be the space? I want to understand the kind of family you grew up in, and how that influenced your decision to be here.
I grew up in Ghana in Tema, but I didn't like
Tema boy.
Yeah. So I didn't like boxing at all. I went to creative school, primary school. I didn't like boxing at all. Boxing would come on TV and it would take a lot of time. So as a kid, I wanted to watch cartoons only.
Okay.
You know, but it wasn't until I went to Ghana again. I go to Ghana quite a lot, but I went, I think, 2 years ago, and my auntie said, oh, she was laughing. And I said, Auntie, what's funny? She said, it's no surprise you're a boxer. I said, why? She said, do you not remember when you used to come from primary school, there'll be one shoe missing, your tie is undone, your buttons are ripped, your bag is half open. And I said, really, is that what happened? She said, yeah, it's no surprise. You'd always get into fights.
Oh.
So it's interesting to hear that from her. But yeah, growing up, I had no interest in boxing. I had a lovely childhood. I grew up around love with all my cousins. We went to school. We got the taxi to school. I remember always saying to my sister, we can pay for 2 of us, but if you let me sit on you, we'll pay for 1 person, then we can keep the rest of the money.
Yeah.
But on the way back, she wants to sit me, and I say, no, let me sit on you again, and then we'll pay for 1 person, and we'll spend the money. So I had a lovely childhood. I grew up around love, my parents, my family, my uncles, my cousins, my aunties, they all looked after me.
Boxing in Ghana has got great ties with Jamestown. Did you ever get involved with Jamestown?
As a kid, no. But as an adult now, when I go back to Ghana, I feel like Jamestown's the hub of it. It's their culture. For them, I feel it's their #1 sport. So it's always good to go there to touch base, to see the kids and to train with them, to let them know that if you think I've achieved anything, or if you look up to me, you can achieve it too. I grew up in Ghana just like you. And thank God for the opportunities that I had. But when I go there, I want them to say, oh, but you came to see us. Yeah. It's not a guy that you just saw on Google or on YouTube. Yeah. I came, I sat down with you. We drank from the same drink. We trained. I'm a normal guy just like you. Okay, so in moving here, well, you heightened the interest in boxing, but how did that happen? Because I'm sure there was school, you had to finish school, sort out that side of your life, and then getting into boxing. How did that happen for you? Yeah, like most people, my parents brought me here for a better start in education. So with everything that I was doing in boxing, I still knew education was important. So it wasn't until my best friend brought the gloves to the old estate that we grew up in, and everyone tried it on. I saw small guys beat up big guys. I saw big guys get knocked out. So I noticed that this wasn't a matter of size. Strategy. Strategy. Who's smart, who's strong, who's quicker. And from there onwards, I said, I want to learn this. Because we were always fighting on the streets anyways. So if we could now do it in a structured form and not get in trouble, I said, this one I can do, because I'd always get in trouble for fighting. What got you into these street fights in school? And, I'll tell you a funny one that got me into a lot of fights. My accent. When I first came to England, London, I said, oh, that's the African boy. And I said, yeah, I'm the African boy, but we'll fight over it. And anything you said about me being African or my accent was offensive. So so I had to fight you. To fight back. We had to fight. And I'd always make sure I fight. That's the story of a lot of boxers. I was watching the story of Muhammad Ali as well. It's something would always get you into a fight. Yeah. So then parents realized that you had this gift. I'm trying to understand how they found out that, how they realized that, let's put our kid in the space of boxing. No, they didn't. You did yourself? Yeah, my parents didn't. My parents always would have chosen or preferred for me to stick to the educational route and be a doctor, which is very normal, which is very normal. But from my mom's perspective, I don't blame her because I don't even like seeing my friends fight, let alone how would a mum watch their son fight. My dad loves sports, so he's aware of the dangers of the sport. But he said, when I turned 18, he said, you're your own man. What you do is up to you. So when I started boxing, I actually didn't tell my parents. They would they had to read it in a newspaper that, oh, Buatsi is #1 in the country.
Wait.
So when that came out, I couldn't deny that, oh, I've been doing this thing called boxing, and actually I'm quite good at it. I'm #1 in the country. So that's how they found out, and that's how I had to tell them. But at the beginning, no, I didn't tell them that, oh, I
so
do boxing.
were you sneaking to go to boxing academies?
I always said to my dad, I'm going to football. He said, no problem. Then one day he said, you're going football, no problem. Let me check your bag. When he opened the bag, there was no football boots, no shin pads. It was boxing gloves, gum shields. And my dad like, what's this? And I said, oh, I'm going to the boxing gym. Then he said, you have to stop it. And I stopped it straight away. It's what I said to him, but I carried on. But the beauty of all of this is that it made me realize, do I actually want to do this or not? Because my parents are not necessarily supportive of it. But that's how I needed it to be for me to get to where I am now. If my parents had maybe babied me or pushed me, maybe I wouldn't be that motivated. But I wanted to prove to them that I can fight and I can still be clever in the educational system. And that's what I did to them. So that was important to me.
Boxing is a very strange sport. And I say a strange sport because it's fighting with skill and strategy. Yeah. And how did you decide that, you know what, okay, yes, I love to fight, but now I want to learn how to fight. Because, I mean, who wants to learn how to fight? Yeah. As a young boy, street fighting, what really pushed
skill to have?
Good. So what pushed you? Because there's karate, there's all the martial arts, all the other things that if you really want to fight, but why did it have to do with the fists for you?
Because there's no such thing greater than knowing that you came out on top. Two men stepped in to fight each other, and you came out on top. As quiet and as down to earth as I am, there's a lot of pride on the line. Everyone wants to be a macho man. Yeah, I'm not saying that's what drives me, but when we're in there, my mentality is that, yeah, we can be a macho man, but I just want to win. Sometimes being a macho man doesn't win. Yeah, it doesn't win all the time, but I love the competition and the honesty of the sport when you're in there fighting. One-on-one, someone has to win. So who prepared and, who's the better man?
During your early days of learning how to fight, learning how to box, were you losing fights?
No, I thank God so much because I started off winning and I've always been winning. I'm very grateful because some fighters, they didn't always start off winning, but for me, I did. And like I said to you, my first year of boxing, I was national champion in the country.
Let's talk about that fight. Who was it against?
It was a guy called Harry Bugsby. I remember his name because I fought him when I was 15. I bumped into him, I think, 2 years ago. And he came up to me and said, "You remember me?" And I said, "Of course I remember you."
I beat you first?
I didn't say I beat you first, but I said, you were the first guy I fought. Yeah. And I remember being very scared, being very nervous, and saying that, why did I sign up for this? Maybe this is why my parents said not to do it. But again, it's something that I overcame. The challenge and the competition was there, but I overcame it. And that was, in a strange way, that's my experience with my faith, because at that point something has to trigger you. You have to believe in something. And for me, again, my brother who's there till this day, I'm 31, he was there when I was 15, Kevin Dapper, and he's still the same guy that will say, "Josh, I know you're nervous, but it says this in the Bible. Believe in this and stand on it." So
how was that fight? That's when you step foot in that ring, the first fight, everyone is watching, millions of people are watching that game. What was going through your mind? Did you think you're going to really win? Did you have any doubts at any point in time?
Oh, yeah. There was a lot of doubt. But like I said, the competition of when you enter the ring and there's two guys and one person has to win, I remember being scared. I almost wanted to vomit. I said, you know what?
Wow.
In fact, maybe right now I'm feeling sick. I shouldn't take the fight. I don't feel good. These are all the emotions you go through. But you get in the ring and it's time to fight. And you end up fighting.
Let me still stay on that first fight. What were some of the learnings about the other fighter that maybe gave you the lead over him, or the wits over him? If you can remember.
I'd say it was just the will to win.
Okay.
Yeah, he also wanted to win. I wouldn't take that away from him, but I just knew that I was going to win. And I'll tell you another thing. I didn't win based on my skill level, because that I didn't have. I won just by knowing how to fight, fighting instincts, maybe street fighting, but I knew that that's what would take me to cross the line, and the will. And then now I would like to say I'm a bit more polished, but at the beginning it was all street fighting.
All street fight. What does it take to become a professional fighter? Coming from having challenges maybe back home when parents may not be in favor of it. Looking at the system, the structure of boxing, the boxing fraternity, maybe in the UK. What does it take? Is it difficult? Is it a smooth sailing ride?
No,
aside from the fact that you have to, be smart at how you are.
Yeah, there's a lot of competition, but one thing I've learned in this journey is that consistency wins. Consistency comes out on top. So when it's a good day, I'm in the boxing gym. On a bad day, I'm in the boxing gym. On a day that I don't feel like training, I'm still in the boxing gym. So it becomes a habit and a lifestyle. Good or bad days, you're still in the gym. And those are the days that makes champions. They say hard days are the best because that's when champions are made. And I always remember that when it's been a hard session, I keep that in mind. And I say to myself, this is how champions are made. So I have to go through these things. And also, another thing is that I'm aware that I came to a place of opportunity. I always think, Sana, you could have been stuck in Ghana. Who knows how my life would have turned out. And credit to my parents. They brought me here, sorted me out, brought me here and put me at a place where there's more opportunities. They didn't anticipate it being boxing, but that's why, that became the vehicle to what I'm doing at the moment. And, thank God that's gone well so far.
You haven't lost any fight yet, have you?
No, so I've had, I think, 18 fights as a professional and I've won 18 of them,
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I've had, 18, won 18.
Mind busting. Do you anticipate your first loss ever?
I don't anticipate it. I think about it and I use that to motivate me to make sure it doesn't happen. So I'm aware it could happen. It's boxing. It's only one punch and you're knocked out.
Yeah.
So that drives me, that wakes me up out of bed when I'm tired, that pushes me. And that fear or that awareness of it is what drives me to learn more, to want to learn more, to get better.
Wow. 18 fights, you haven't lost any.
It's not a lot, but
No.
We'll keep climbing.
18 people you have. No, for me, that's what I said. I like this interview because from a lay person's point of view, we may have seen other boxers do 50 and 100 and all, but consistency, like he said, for 18 fights, because getting into the ring 18 times, you ask yourself, am I coming out as a winner or am I coming out as a loser?
For sure.
For
sure.
When you are in that space, again, I think I've asked it already, but let me just get back in there, because having to repeat yourself 18 times in that ring, there definitely has to be maybe it might be trade secret, but what is a strategy that you always, put out there?
A strategy. Every fight is different.
Okay.
And what may have worked against you may not work against someone else. So it's about, I was talking about this in the gym today. You have a toolbox, so you need to learn different things to therefore gather different tools. So maybe on this opponent, this tool will work. And then on the other opponent, you need to search the toolbox. What tool's going to work? Then you use that. So I think it's just...
So you have to study your opponent.
You study your opponent, but rather than study my opponent, I work on improving myself. Because the better I get, I believe I'll beat all these different people. So the focus more is on myself than my opponent. Whereas I think other fighters usually talk about the opponent, they're watching him, they're doing this, they're doing that. I concentrate on how I can become better because I believe a better version of me will beat these guys.
Let me take you back to after 18, or in fact, when you won your first professional fight.
Yeah.
Let's tell me the story on there afterwards with the other winnings and the other belts. I know in boxing there are belts, other belts that you took.
I wish I had. I'm gonna bring my belts now.
Yeah, we can bring it.
It's upstairs in my trainer room. Yeah, you can go up. So the difference between...
By the way, this will be the first time in bloody history that I'm ever going to get it the closest to a belt.
Well, good. we got 3 beautiful belts to show you. That's
wow.
Good. So I think the difference between the earlier fights till now is there's so much more at stake. There's every time I fight now, everything's on the line. It cannot go wrong because everything's on the line. And the first few fights, the rounds were shorter.
Okay.
The opponents
so I read that online.
So I started doing 6 rounds, and there were people that you're expected to beat. And as the years and time goes on, I'm doing 12 rounds now.
So what? Yeah. So help me understand how that works, because sometimes, you're
So
doing
you
2
start
rounds,
off,
6
yeah,
rounds.
you start off saying this round is scheduled for 4 rounds.
Okay.
Then as you get more experience, 6 rounds, then 8 rounds, then 10 rounds, then 12. So I do 12 rounds now. So
You'd love to go all 12 rounds with your opponent.
no, I wouldn't love to. No,
You don't love to
That's the schedule.
Okay.
If I can get them out before 12, then we're all happy.
Okay.
But sometimes you have to go the distance, and it will be 12 rounds that you have to do.
Is it intentional that you want to work on? So I want to understand this, because yes, I'm watching the boxing fight. I don't know what's going on between the two boxers, their minds, but sometimes I wish that, can't you just punch the guy? Like,
No,
can't you just knock him out? Like, do you have to?
No.
So I want to understand what.
Yeah. So I'll tell you one thing. Fighting is awkward.
Yeah.
The human body and human nature finds it very, very awkward, because if I'm trying to harm you,
Okay,
you're feeling endangered, and you're gonna do what you have to do to defend yourself. So you're not just gonna just fall into my hands and allow me to do what I want to do to you. So it's very awkward, and it's very unplanned.
Okay.
But the whole thing is, I need to make you do what I want you to do. I need to control you. I need to get you tired. I need to make you panic. I need to make you hesitate a lot more. So it becomes mind games, and
I knew there was
so
a
much
mind
behind
game.
it. Yeah.
Yes, because for those who didn't necessarily say they love boxing, but they'll work because maybe a popular, maybe Anthony Joshua, who we'll talk about later on, maybe is fighting out of popularity. People want to watch the match.
Yeah.
And he's going on, this is the 10th round, and he's still in the ring. And you're asking, like, can't he just, the guy's side was free, can't he just throw him out, easy? But then you're explaining that it's a mind game.
Yeah. Someone's not going to just let you manhandle them. No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, no way. So, so it's a lot to do.
I can imagine.
It's a lot to do.
I fighting in itself is scary. How much more now when you're in the ring with millions of people watching you? Let me last talk about that, about the awards. We can bring
them
the
belts. This is,
oh my days.
So this is, it's heavy.
This might be the first time. Oh, whoa!
This is a Commonwealth. So you've got the British title.
Okay.
So that means I'm the one in Britain. This is the
Commonwealth belt. Wait, hold on. You can't speed on this. Like, wait. First off, they're very heavy. Like, very heavy. This is very heavy. So tell me about this one. Who did you fight to get this one?
I boxed a very good friend of mine called Dan Aziz. Yeah, so Dan and I fought for both of these belts. He was the current champion at that time, and again, it was an important fight, because that fight meant that the winner will fight for the world title. So these 2 belts are what Dan had. This is the British title. This is the Commonwealth title.
Wow. So it says here, Lord Lonsdale.
I'm not sure who that guy is, but I was just happy to win the belt. I was happy to win the fight, happy to win the belt.
Oh, this is...
So, this is the British title. It's quite a unique belt, because most of the belts are made out of leather, but as you can see, that's more of gold and metal.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy.
This was the same fight, the Commonwealth. So this one Dan Aziz had as well. A good friend of mine. We've been friends for over 10 years, but we had to fight in February this year.
Okay, so wait.
Yeah.
So you took your friend into the boxing ring to beat him up?
No, he took me in there to beat me up. And as I said, it's a fight. You don't just allow someone to beat you up. Yeah. So I had to fight back. And
how does it feel? How does it feel like fighting your friend? Like, this is your friend.
It's a horrible feeling. But after we met back in Ghana again, Dan's from Nigeria, but we linked up in Ghana. We went to one of my favorite sports called Ejanipa. If you're hearing this, you need to now give me free food every time I come, because I'm sure they picked you up. But we went there, and we fought for these 2, and this is the WBA Intercontinental belt. Ooh. I've had this one for a few years.
Wow! Look, I'm telling you, this is heavy. Whoa!
Yeah, so these are the 3 belts that I've got, and these matters because it's the stepping stone to the real belt. I'm not saying these are not real belts, because they are, but
wow,
it's a stepping stone. Yeah. Oh, and this is one of my favorite gowns that I wore. And it's a bit creased at the moment, but
I like.
Yeah, it was the whole kente pattern that we needed, and the Jinyame symbol, which I'm making sure people in this part of the world know. And this, it says, it means except God. So except for God, none of this would happen. So I always want to acknowledge God for the wins and the victories and the kente cloth and the pattern. I want people to know where I'm from, what part of the world I'm from, and this is a national cloth, a national pattern, we all know what it means. So again, it's just to educate people around here.
So wait, there's a Nike in here.
Yeah, so I'm sponsored by Nike as well. Hence why head to bottom, if you get free clothes, you wear it. So so I'm sponsored by Nike as well. And
so it had to be in there. Who designed it?
Yeah, it's it's a lady called Sophie from Sheffield, called Fight Label. I'll tell you the truth. She comes up with this idea. I just tell her the colors that I want, and she puts it together. So this robe, I don't wear it anymore, but it's the most meaningful one because yes, it's got the Jinyamis symbol and it's got the Kente pattern.
Okay, let me ask you this thing. So you identify as Ghanaian.
Yeah.
You're British.
I live out here.
You live out here. So why didn't you fight with a British flag?
I mean, there's one on there, but you know, I was born in Ghana. I grew up in Ghana.
So all love,
and I always go back to Ghana, maybe 5 times a year. Yeah, I'm always there. So it's something that I'll never deny, and I can't even deny it if I wanted to. You know, I think it's at a point now that people in Ghana need to know that yes, I box in London because I live there. But if you say where are you from, I'm from Ghana. That's where I'm from. You know, that's where my makeups and my thinking. And it's interesting because I always tell people, go back to where you're from. Yeah, I go back to Ghana just to see men behaving like me and seeing how they do how they do what they do. Then I just have to laugh because I say that, oh, you know, I'm Ghanaian. Maybe that's why I behave like that because I see them do it. Yeah.
No, we're proud of you. This is the first time I've ever come close to a belt. I probably would have to give this up after the interview, and that'll be the last time I see one. I mean, if I'm to get this, I'm sure I have to come with a bloody face.
No, my face is not bloody.
No, but you've done, 18 fights. I mean, like, whoa, that's a lot. Let's switch and talk about health for a bit.
Yeah.
So now, this morning, I was watching Cristiano Ronaldo train.
Yeah.
With all the rumors about what he eats and all of that. What about you? What you eat? What you drink? I mean, we came home, we got water, by the way.
Yeah, I told you, there's only spring water available. But yeah, the dieting, we diet a lot and we eat good foods, and that's how we maintain the weight, or that's how I fall into the weight category that I need to get into. And I'm sorry to say, but the banku, the kenke, the fufu, all of that is crossed. You can't eat that if you want to maintain the same weight.
So wait, do you you go off? You go on diet, is it before the fight, or you
leading up to the fight?
Then you go on your diet.
Yeah, and then when I'm in Ghana, I'll go to all the chop bars you want. I'll eat everything you want, but during training camp, no way.
How long does it take you to prepare towards a fight? Months, weeks?
Yeah, about 2 months, 2.5 months. Yeah, so it's a long time, but it's needed. Yeah, it's a very long time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a long time, but yeah, it's needed because if not, then you just get up and you fight. But yeah, this is definitely by far my favorite robe.
No, I love it. I love it. I honestly love it. And just the kente in there is just, you know, anywhere we see kente, we always have to give it that respect.
Yeah.
So what is the future like now for you? Winning all these bouts, these belts. I bet you're not retaining these belts, are you?
No way. No chance. Yeah, no chance. If I get a chance, I'll take it to Ghana, again, to let the guys in Bukum know that, oh, that belt is achievable. Just because I did it, you can't think that, oh, it's not achievable. And that's the whole thing. I want kids, not just in Ghana, but in London and England, to know that it's achievable. I grew up in a normal area, did normal things, but I just dedicated myself to something, and that's what it was. So
let me understand how this works. If somebody challenges you to any of these belts and you lose, do you give these belts back up, or it's still... How does it work in the boxing?
I'll be very honest. I don't know, and I don't intend. I don't even want to find out. That I'm not thinking about.
Have people thrown challenges at you? You know.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, people have, and it's not every battle that you accept or every battle that you take. Yeah, because somebody might want to fight you because it's an opportunity for them, but it doesn't mean it's an opportunity for me.
So, I mean, you wouldn't want to, let me go to this other side of the business. You wouldn't want to jump into a ring and just fight for glory and fight for fame. It must also make business sense.
Yeah.
How does that work? You know, I've always wanted to understand. In growing up, Don King, I think that's his name. Yeah, was the guy.
Yeah.
The fixer of matches, and everybody was talking about Don King is the guy. How does it work in your world as well? In fighting another boxer, I want to understand.
Yeah, you have to. I think when you start, there's a market value, and you find where your market value is, and you find that out by going to different promoters and seeing how much they'll all offer you. So you don't value yourself and say, I'm worth 1 million if they're offering you, let's say £10. If they offer you 10, 12, 15, then you know that you're just worth under £20.
Okay.
You know, so that's how you find out your market value, and then you take it from there. But there are things that you can do to boost your market value. If you go to the Olympic Games, it's a booster. If you win a medal, it's a booster. So when you turn professional, you can say, oh, look at my amateur CV. I did this, that, and that. And your market value will go up. And then that's how you start. It's at the point now, yes, you fight people. What fight is going to generate the most money? I think that's the fight that you take right now. Yeah. Because as dangerous as it is, like you said,
I like that.
You want to get paid for it. Yeah.
What are your next fights coming up?
Well, hopefully I can fight a big rivalry with a guy that I've had in London for many years called Anthony Yard. So hopefully we can get that fight off. Another thing that I do want to do is fight in Ghana. Hopefully by the end of the year. I really hope we can make that one happen.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
who knows? It might be me, you know. Like...
But the most important, above all, is to fight for the world title.
Wow.
Because, you know, again, my brother's always said that you're a world champion. It's just a matter of time till you can have the belts to show for it. You know, and that's the mentality that we need in this life. I believe I'm a champion. It's just a matter of time till I can say, guys, this is the actual belt to show that I'm a champion. But it doesn't mean that I don't think I'm a champion.
No, you are a champion.
For sure.
I mean, I don't see you losing any fight anytime soon. And anybody's going to try and even beat you. It might be a draw.
No,
because of fathers. But you're going to set a world record and just maintain the wins all through. Yeah, I don't know, but I can feel it. This is really good. I'm so proud of you. Who do you look up to? Which other boxers do you look up to inspire you?
Without being cliche, I'll say Azuma because of just what he did for Ghana and the country and how he put the country on the map. You know, there are many boxers that I can say, but if I think of one that's close by, one that's alive that I actually find inspirational, I'll say Zuma Nelson. Yeah, and I watched the old clips of you know, him trying to speak a bit of English. What he could do, he managed, and of course now he speaks better English. But he really put Ghana on the map. So and he was the first one out there to do what he did. So we also have to pay him credit and give respect to him, and all the champions that are coming from Ghana. We also have to respect them. Yeah.
What music do you listen to?
All kinds of music. If you play, if I connect my phone right now,
any favorite Ghanaian artists?
I'll say Black Sheriff.
Okay.
Let's say Medical, Shatawale, Stoneboy. The list goes on. Now I'm gonna get in trouble because I haven't Psycho there too. Now you've put me in a deep hole. So there's a whole long list of them that's going on. But I support these guys. I like the music.
What do you think of Black Sheriff? I mean, he's like one of the newest, you know, on the market and going global with music.
Yeah,
as well.
You know what? I think.
Have you met him?
Not yet. I haven't met him. But for such a young guy, some of his lyrics are very inspirational. What he talks about and the experience he talks about, I think, wow, he's only 21, 22.
Yeah.
Young guy. So, his lyrics are very meaningful.
Joshua, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Just before we wrap up, so is there any particular strategy that if I was to get in the, like, what should I, because any way that I'm supposed to fist, like?
You're holding the fist the right way, but any strategy is to punch first. hit them before they hit you. If you encounter anyone, hit them before they hit you. Straight away.
Now you heard that, please.
Heard it.
Only in the boxing ring, please. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, who knows who might be next? Stay tuned.